Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look in the Soulforge and tell you what I think is good and bad in there. I'm going to show you the team I'm going to use for this week's Journey event, and also an Underspire team, hopefully with the Underspire. Nice and quickly. But first up, let's take a look at this weekly event troop, Maple Goldbark. Let's see what she's got, apart from Goldbarks. Allied Fey gain 2 life. Immune to mana burn, mana drain and mana steal is pretty good because that means she gets her mana and pretty much keeps it. And reduce damage from skulls by 33%, so not too bad. And creates 5 Fairy Fire gems, that is green, and when matched, destroyed or exploded, can inflict Fairy Fire on an enemy, and if they get it, they're going to get 50% incoming spell damage. And 5 Burning gems, they are red, and if, again, matched, exploded, destroyed, are going to burn an enemy. Then gains an extra turn. So that's pretty good, I think, because the benefit of that is, obviously, you create those 5 Fairy Fire gems and 5 Burning gems, then you can use the extra turn in 2 different ways. You can either make a match which previously maybe wasn't there, or you can have another troop on your team which explodes gems. Gaining that mana, obviously you need somebody who uses green to benefit from the green. She doesn't use green, obviously, but inflicting Fairy Fire with a damaging damage to all troop at the same time on your team, she could work pretty well with something like that. So yeah, that's not bad at all. I'm going to give her a pretty solid 7 out of 10. That's one of the better glory troops we've had for a little while. Anyway, the other day I was watching, well, wasn't watching, I just happened to notice 2 mime artists having sex. They were doing unspeakable things to each other. Yes. Oh, yes. Anyway, get the glory troop to Mythic if you can afford the glory. Always good to do that, and we'll upgrade that a little bit later. But onto the Soulforge. Let's see what's going on in there this week. Alright, let's have a look. Weapons first. Same as always, not going to look at all the ones that are here all the time. They're in my Soulforge extra video. You can take a look at that in the link in the description below. But first up we have Burning Claw. Don't get it from here, get it from the Journey Event shop. It's the same weapon that is in there, and you're going to do tiers for that anyway to help out your guild, I presume. So might as well get it from there because you can be spending those gems anyway, and therefore you save your diamonds and other stuff. Anyway, it deals magic based damage to an enemy boosted by red allies and Fey allies. So basic damage with a boost, nothing too spectacular about that unless the upgrades are really good, which we can have a look at a little bit later. And as I said, all these ones are in my Soulforge extra video, so no need to go over them, they're here all the time. So first up we have Trickster's Shot, rather excellent weapon this. Eliminates all armor from an enemy, really good on those events where the enemy can scale in damage and they get really high armor in the later stages. Fantastic for that kind of thing. And deal magic based damage to them and gain 2 magic boosted by armor eliminated. Really cool, and it has enchanting as well when you upgrade it, which means it's going to collect 2 mana every single round and get going to do it again really quickly. Summer Aegis. Deal magic based damage to an enemy boosted by Bright Forest allies, then create a mix of 6 green and red gems for each Bright Forest ally. Uses yellow and purple, creates green and red, so make sure those Bright Forest allies, at least 1 or 2 of them, use green or red or both to generate or make use of all that mana. Fairy Ring. It's very good. Do you see? Deals magic based damage to an enemy boosted by Fey allies, then create a mix of 6 green and purple gems for each Fey ally. So similar to the last one, but this uses blue and yellow, creates green and purple, make sure those Feys use green and or purple to generate or make use of all that lovely mana. This is the kind of anti-Bright Forest weapon in a way, removes all green gems, it's the colour Bright Forest troops like the most. Then deal damage to them based on your magic, boosted by gems removed. If the enemy is from Bright Forest, or if the battle is in Bright Forest, deal double damage. So it's not one of the weapons you use very much, but it is one of the ones that's nice and cheap to pick up, just 75 diamonds. You'll reach a point in the game as well where basically you need a certain amount of weapons fully powered up to move on your kingdoms and power levels and things like that, so this is a good thing to pick up for those reasons. Nice and cheap. Alright, what else we got? Oh, Mystic Manuscript, say a nice one. Do like that. Explodes magic +1 purple gems, grants a random status effect to all Mystic allies, then summons a Mystic troop, so really good in a Mystic team, that one. And it's, again, a couple of very good upgrades, like enchanting as well. Very nice. Do like me a bit of Mystic Manuscript in a team now and again. Celestial Flask, really good mana generator. This creates 3 potions of either blue, green, red, yellow or purple, so everything with the main colours but brown, and gain an extra turn. So if you don't get a match automatically, again, 2 options. You can make a match if it's there, or you can just use another troop to explode gems, pick up a obscene amount of mana, and most likely get a chance to do it again, providing you're not frozen. So really good weapon that for getting some really quick mana. Wand of Stars isn't in my Soulforge extra video, but say every week, if you've got the resources and you haven't got this yet, just craft it. It's the best weapon in the game. Obscenely good mana generator. Does backfire now and again, but not that often. And with the option of the Bless or Curse, it's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely ridiculously good. Obscenely good even. Absolute filth. Next up we have Doomed Poignard. Deal magic-based damage to the last enemy boosted by green gems. If they have a doom, deal double damage. There's a 3% chance per temporary level to kill the enemy. Don't like this weapon that much. Even fully tempered up, it's only got a 1 in 3 chance to kill the enemy. I mean, it's, you know, if it comes in, 1 in 3 is 1 in 3 is a reasonably decent chance, I suppose. But for me, there's just better options with more reliable outcome when you cast it. Shimmer Scale's Wing. Give magic +1 life to all allies. If Shimmer Scale is on my team, gain an extra turn. Not much of a fan of these weapons that require another troop on your team of a particular, you know, it's set in stone to make it work at its highest potential. It's not like Shimmer Scale is a fantastic troop either. So yeah, more collectible than anything, that one. And why I went first, I have no idea. Eruption of Roses. It's a bit more than Eruption of Roses. I was thinking actually maybe Eruption of Roses with loads of thorns on and prickly bits and snaggy bits, things like that maybe. So yeah, probably is fair. Explode magic +1 green gems. Grant a random status effect to all Fey allies and summon a Fey troop. So really good weapon is another nice explodey summony weapon. Lots of mana, status effects if you've got Fey allies and a summon. And it's got some cool upgrades again as well. Tangling. Really good against skull-based teams. As soon as you cast this, you're going to entangle that top troop, meaning you don't take any damage from the basic skulls. Very nice indeed. Do like that one. And anything else? No, that is our lot. Right, let's move on now to the troops. As ever, have a little look through these summoning stones, see if there's anybody in there that you haven't got or is particularly good, i.e. Daughter of Time. She's absolutely awesome. If you haven't got her already, absolutely have a go at some of these summoning stones, see if you can pick her up. She's absolutely fantastic. Creates 5 hourglass gems and 5 freeze gems and gains an extra turn. When you match hourglass gems, which are yellow, and they can be matched with normal yellow gems, not only do you get an extra turn, but it negates freeze. It bypasses freeze. It's like nothing happened, and they're sort of guaranteed to get an extra turn. It's like really, really good. And she also has a temporal, which is cool. A 50% chance to convert a yellow gem to an hourglass gem when my turn begins. So she is very, very good indeed. And grab goblins as well, because they're good as well. They always have the extra turn, which can be very annoying for other people. And being annoying is what some of this game is all about sometimes. So yeah, have a little shufty through the rest of these, see if anybody jumps out as being good or you knows annoying in certain teams and things like that, and see if you can get them. Alright, so let's jump to the bottom now. Dragon Lord Luther is here all the time. Salamandria is the first mythic that is up. Explodes all burning gems, they're red. Then deal magic-based true damage to the first 2 enemies, boosted by burning gems destroyed. So again, just a true damage to 2 enemies with a boost. Nothing fantastic about it. It's more like a good legendary, if anything. Create 2 burning gems when matching 4 or more gems. Yeah, and go bang. Gain bonus red mana from red gem. That came out like some sort of bingo bango language. That was weird. I'm going to drink a bit of my tea. Hang on. Yeah, but overall, Salamandria is nothing special at all, I don't think. Alright, next up we have Guardian of Law. It's actually pretty good. He's more annoying than anything when he's on another team, controlled by the PvP. Do like them traits. Beyond Reproach, believe is the highest spell reduction in the game. Reduce damage from spells by 80% is absolute nightmare. Really cool. Reduced damage from scars by 40% is good as well. And all allies gain 2 random skill points. And the spells are right as well. This is not a bad spell at all. I quite like it. Just don't like the way the second part is normal damage compared to true damage from the first part. But yeah, deal magic-based true damage to a chosen enemy, death mark them and drain their mana. That is definitely the better option of the two if you can do that. Or deal the same amount of damage, but it's normal damage to all other enemies. But yeah, the thing that makes him annoying is definitely that beyond reproach. When you're playing him in a PvP team. Top of Sarth is the Gem Dragon on rotation. Damage to all enemies boosted by yellow gems. Convert yellow gems to yellow giant gems. Giant with 2 spaces. That sort of thing irritates me in this game. There's lots of things where there's that double space thing, and it's like, for people like me that notice that sort of stuff and get irritated by it somehow, it's like just oh, I've got to not look at it, but I can't unlook at it now. I've seen it again. How annoying. And there's a 10% chance for an extra turn boosted by yellow gems. But anyway, if this is the last gem dragon you have to craft before you start working at the cosmic dragons on the path to getting Stellarix, then I would say it's normally worth the extra dragonite. It does cost a lot more than normal, but you're guaranteed to get it, and it stops that frustration of getting more and more duplicates, because when you got one dragon to collect, the odds are 1 in 6 you're going to get the one you want. So for me, if you've got plenty of dragonite, just guarantee it and get it out of the way and start working towards those. God, what am I doing? I don't want to actually press a button now. Start working towards those cosmic ones. So yeah, very good indeed. What am I doing? What am I doing? Looking for the rest of the mythics. Arachnian Weaver. Fantastic still. Not so great when there's events where the enemy has a huge amount of true damage in the end, because it becomes too slow for that. But for the vast majority of events and things like that, and battles, it's absolutely fantastic. Web all enemies, which is good. Reduces a enemy's magic to 0, which normally massively reduces the power of their spell. And then deal magic-based true damage to the last 2 enemies. If the enemy dies, or if an enemy dies, explode 15 gems. So that's good on its own, but the traits are just outrageous. Cannot be targeted by spells unless there are no other targets. Immune to all status effects, devour, lycanthropy and mana burn. That's not quite as good as it used to be since Curse came into the game. And Curse is now very easy to set upon an enemy with things like the Wonder Stars. And Creeping Doom, 75% chance to summon a web spinner when an enemy dies. I mean, in the early parts of the game and middle parts, the amount of times Arachnian Weaver saved me simply by that Creeping Doom, by just not being, you know, just killing enemies, and I was down to like 1 or 2 troops, and then before you know it, you had some web spinners just dishing out damage left, right and centre. Yeah, Arachnian Weaver, still really, really good all these years later. And, oh, is a mythic, but not really a mythic. And we have Wulfgarok. Damage to an enemy, magic +2, boosted by Wargear allies. If the enemy dies, devour a random enemy. I actually quite like this sort of thing. I don't think it's that well rated upon the most powerful mythics, and it's not one of the best ones, but when used properly, it can actually be really, really effective. The traits aren't too bad either. Invigorated, gain 1 life when an ally casts a spell is a bit naff. Impervious is obviously good though. Immune to all status effects, devour, lycanthropy and mana burn. And first, Wargear. Give 2 attack and magic to allied Wargear when matching 4 or more gems. Is not too shabby. But the trick with this is to just damage someone enough to get it in range of a Wulfgarok kill, and then you get 2 kills for the price of 1. Really, really good. In fact, it's better than a kill. Just devour, because you absorb their stats apart from the magic. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. And that is the mythics. Let's just go over the legendaries ever so quickly. Don't usually say to craft legendaries using your valuable diamonds, but we do make exceptions sometime, and certainly there is an exception on the screen right now, but it's not Celestasia. Creates 11 gems of a chosen ally's mana color, cleanse and give magic based life to them. So yeah, don't see it in many teams anymore. Gains a barrier on 4 or 5 gem matches, is the best one of the traits, and tough scales is pretty good too. But yeah, nothing too special about Celestasia anymore, but still handy in the early parts of the game if you pick it up. But Tesla, oh my life, not only is this only a legendary, but it's basically a uber mythic in disguise. Tesla is better than legendary, and this is one of the exceptions I was mentioning just a minute ago. If you haven't got Tesla and you've got enough resources, get 2 of her. If you've got 1 of her, get another one, because she works just amazing in pairs and can like blitz the entire underworld with the basic teams. Like, I forget what it is now, was it? Oh, I forget how many it was, but it was way over half of the entire underworld uses red or blue. And you can use her in a very straightforward team and just blitz the underworld all the way to level 500. Almost her on her own in a way, the way it kind of works. It's just, she's just absolutely lethal and so good in so many other areas of the game as well. She's utterly fantastic, and not only is she basically Mythic in disguise, but she's better than most of the Mythics in the game. Queen Grapple Pot. She likes to grapple with her pots while doing damage to all enemies, boosted by ally and enemy goblins, and gains an extra turn. So pretty good. And allied goblins gain 5 life on 4 or 5 gem matches. So yeah, goblins are always annoying, but she's alright. Not one of the best ones, but she's decent. Groz the Undefeated does damage to an enemy, curse them, inflicts 2 to 4 stacks of bleed, and gains 8 mana when an enemy dies. So that's alright. Right, so yeah, that is it for the legendaries. So that is it. So who is the Mythic of the week? Well, the best trip here today is Tesla. But basically, I can't see beyond it being anybody but good old Arachian Weaver. Still absolutely awesome in the game. Webbing all enemies, reducing their magic to 0, making even troops like Stellarix just completely ineffective. And then dealing true damage to the last 2 enemies. If one of them dies, explode 15 gems, can often charge up and do it again, and has those awesome set of traits at the same time. Absolutely fantastic. Arachian Weaver, my Mythic of the Week. Now onto the Journey team. We'll show a couple of different options for this, but both really, really cool. But in either case, you must use the event captain. Crackle Leaf has ×2 magic, and the trait gives ×2 to ×3 score for this event only, and you get that from the shop. Available at tier 2, but the first ones are really good anyway. Potion of Enchantment at tier 1 enchants all allies for this event only. A tier 2 is when you pick up Crackle Leaf. It's going to be the generator of red, as well as doing damage to an enemy, again with that magic boost, remember. So pretty useful. The Potion of Explosion you pick up at the same time. Explodes 4 gems at the start of battle, again for this event only. And then you get more tiers if you require, but it's definitely worth picking up tier 3 at the same time. You pick up the Burning Claw weapon, dealing damage to an enemy, boosted by red allies and Fey allies. And obviously you can pick up more Crackle Leaf if required, or just use a couple of Orbs of Ascension if you want to get it all the way to Mythic. But let's show the team. Oh, let's grab that first. I'm going to use 2 times Nisha, 1 times Anu for this. Get a nice little mana start on the team. But if this team here, let's go to the high miles. Going to go with Wonder Stars. There is an option to change that as well if you don't have that yet. Maple Goldbark, who's actually available from the Glory Shop at the moment, so anybody can get her. Queen Titania and Crackle Leaf, and I'll show an option as well for Queen Titania. But the cool thing about this team is it's going to make real good use of Maple Goldbark here. Creates 5 Fire gems. 5 Fire gems? What? Creates 5 Fairy Fire gems even, and 5 Burning gems, then gains an extra turn. It's important to have a extra turn mechanic built into a Journey team, basically because you get the most miles if you win each battle in 10 turns or less. A turn is your go, including all extra turns, over to the enemy, all their goes, including extra turns, and back to you. That is 1 complete turn. And if you win the battle in 10 turns or less, that is when you pick up the highest miles. So it's good to try and have extra turns. The Wonder Stars has extra turn capability because of the way it creates all the mana and all those stars. Maple Goldbark, crikey, I'll get things right in a minute, has an extra turn built into her spell. Queen Titania can gain an extra turn just because if there's 13 or more red gems on the board, there's a good chance of doing that because we're going to have a red storm all the time. And Crackle Leaf can generate an extra turn simply by matching 4 red when it gets cast. So really good for all those things. But it can have where is he? Where is he? The Foxfire King. You can have him instead. It's going to work really well with Maple because you're going to pick up the green from that way. Because right now the green will only feed into the Wand of Stars, but it's going to work fairly well with the Foxfire King if you don't have Queen Titania, and you have the advantage as well of the 50% chance to inflict Fairy Fire on a random enemy when matching red, which will be doing a lot, and it can do true damage to all enemies, which is cool. But the reason I like Queen Titania for this is because we're guaranteed a Fairy Fire on every 4 match, which we're going to get a lot of when we cast the Wonder Stars and Crackle Leaf and things like that, especially with a constant red storm. So it's going to work well like that. And the fact that she creates these burning gems as well is really cool, because burning gems means we can also take advantage of the rather excellent Sunspear class Fireblade. Deal triple skull damage to burning enemies. So we can get triple skull damage as well when we get some skull matches, which is going to be really nice. And in this class, we're going to create a Firestorm at the start of every turn, which is guaranteed a load of red. Let's take a look at the other champion talents quickly. Snap Freeze, Insulated, Root Trap, really handy to entangle the troop at the start of these battles, especially when the battles get harder. Watery Binding, all blue allies gain 4 life. Deluge, Submerge a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches. And Firebringer, gain bonus red. So all those things really, really cool for this. But if you don't have Wand of Stars, there is a very good option for this, which you may want to change to. Let's pop in Tangling, because it's good to have, if you can't go in the Elementalist class for this, so basically you're not going to get the Burn, Stun, Freeze and Tangle on every 4 match, then it's a pretty decent idea to try and entangle the top troop as often as possible. And Eruption of Roses is good for many reasons. A, when you cast it, it does have Tangling, so you will entangle that top troop when cast. And Explode Green gives a random status effect to all Fays and has a summon of a Fey as well. And this is a Fey based team, so that is really good for that. But if you're going to do that, because it explodes green, I would maybe pop in the Foxfire King instead of Queen Titania, because he uses green. So you can benefit from all the green that the Eruption of Roses uses. So a second option there. But I'm going to have a roll with this one and see what happens. Like I say, when things get tougher as ever on this kind of thing, you can change to Elementalist class. To benefit from the Burn, Stun, Freeze, Entangle, particularly the Entangle when things get tough. But you will actually suffer a little bit on Crackle Leaf when you do that, because its spell is boosted by Fey allies, and you'll be elemental. Right, let's jump forward a bit. Yeah, but this team's working absolutely cracking so far. Really good. That the devs have actually created a glory troop which is useful for the event. Very handy indeed, she's proving. Right, let's just go through how we go about things in this team. Obviously look out for 4 matches at the beginning. Get the Fairy Fire going, courtesy of Queen Titania. Extra 50% damage for incoming troops. When you're charging up the Wand of Stars, I mean, it's ready to go now. If you're taking matches to get it ready, I'd always take purple or yellow if you can, because basically you want to cast the first option on this, and the less purple or yellow there are on the board, then the more chance the Wand of Stars has got of having a successful cast with a 4 match. And this constant Firestorm means we just get an absolute ton of red constantly. There's no need to cast this right now because we've got 17 red gems there. Titania's going to get an extra turn. It charges up really quickly. Look at that. We're not going to get an extra turn again, but hey, what does it matter when everybody's dead? Really cool. Right, that was almost a little bit too easy. I wanted things to go a little bit slower than that to show a few other things about this team as well, but hopefully we'll get to do it this time. Yeah, but it's working rather well. Let's go Wand. Really good chance of the Wand working when there's a storm. Like this, Red Storm. Again, more than 13. She's going to get an extra turn. And we can take this now. No harm in doing that. It's going to give some mana to Queen Titania. But when Wand and Maple are both up, then actually I would cast Maple first. And the reason is, the less purple and yellow are on the board when you cast Wand of Stars on the first option, the more chance it's got of working properly. And when you cast Maple, you're going to overwrite some of those yellow and purple, which basically means Wand has a far better chance of getting a successful 4 match, especially with the constant Firestorm. And when there's all them red there, oh, not quite enough. We needed 1 more. But we can even have benefit from these burning skulls. It's triple skull damage. Not that we need it right now, because again, everyone's going to be dead pretty quickly. But we can actually now go Maple again. Create some more red on the board. Let's do this. All those red on the board now mean that this has got a better chance of working. It didn't work out at that time. That's the way it goes. So let's go with it again. There we go. Just got everybody charged up really quickly. And they're going to be deaded. Sorry, Mr. Immortal King. Whatever your name was. You're not quite immortal. Or whatever his name was. Oh, that's the trait, isn't it? The Immortal King or something. He's got a chance to resurrect himself or something. Yeah, charged up straight away. But if you didn't get charged up, it takes some yellow or purple to give a wand a better chance of a successful cast. I have a little gander around for 4 matches, because if we've got 4 matches, we can make Fairy Fire gems. Or Fairy Fire an enemy, which is going to be devastating for the enemy, but we'll absolutely grab something like that. Let's go Maple. Let's go Queen Titania. Really, really cool. Now onto the Underspire team. Right, just going to show you how this works. It's fairly straightforward though. I'm going to go with Eruption of Roses, Queen Titania, Firenze, and King Oberon. King Oberon gives all Fae allies a 50% start with mana. Can give a magic-based life and 5, a magic to all allies, then create a firestorm and enchant all Faes, which is pretty cool because we are going to be all Faes in this team. So Eruption of Roses is going to be great for this. Explodes green gems, gives a random status effect to all Fae allies, again the whole team, then summons a Fae troop. And it has Tangling as well as part of its upgrade, which means you'll entangle the top troop when you cast it, which means you're safe from skulls. We're going to have Queen Titania and Firenze as the damage dealers. Now, these are both pretty cool together, because Queen Titania Fairy Fires a random enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches, which means it boosts up the power of both of these, as well as does damage to all. And Firenze creates 1 Fairy Fire gem when her turn begins, and does damage to all, and has a summon at the same time, and it's boosted by Fairy Fire gems. And we can actually explode those green gems when we cast Eruption of Roses, which means we pick up all that stuff as well as the mana at the same time. Very basic and straightforward. Easy to use. Going to be in Frost Mage class for this. Frost Mage, really good. Chance to freeze an enemy when an ally casts a spell, and we gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell too. And from the talent trees, we can have Snap Freeze, Insulated, Anti-Magic Sphere, Mana Source, always good to have a quick start. Deluge, very good for this. Lightning Strike, we can have, yeah, Lightning Strike is the best one. And yeah, all Mystics. All Mystics gain 2 magic and life when an enemy dies. Right, good. Banner, a +2 red, +1 green, -1 yellow, because we don't use yellow. Don't use brown either. Hey, you could have one that uses -brown. Up to you. Not going to knock it. Let's just do a few battles here. You're going to get red or blue if we can to get the team going, but there's no red. So just bash them around the head with a skull then. Take that then, matey boy. If, you know, not going to give me the colours, then I'll just go about my way. But if Firenze's got charged up first, she does the job. Everybody's gone. Right, let's go and get our free stuff from matey boy. Green face, earlobes, pointy head, hat gem face. No, I don't want to purchase your wares. I want to take stuff off you for free. Yes. Alright. Lady Saphira. Looks like she could do with a bit of sunshine, but she may disagree with that, because it makes them burn, doesn't it? They're not happy, vampires, when it starts getting a bit sunny. Right, let's do it that way. All that green there. Loads of mana for the team. And yet again, Firenze has beaten Titania to the punch. Worth getting 4 matches when they're Dodo to make sure you get those Fairy Fire effects, especially as the levels get a bit tougher. And every time you cast a weapon, remember, you're going to get the top troop entangled, which makes it nice and safe at the same time. Oh, it's Titania's chance for glory. There you go. 2 girlies battling it out for who's dishing out the most damage. Oh, that's a lot of blue and purple. That's right. Gives us a chance for 4 matches. Boom! Oh, yeah, right. Alright. Right, let's make this last one. See how this team works. Really good. Cast a weapon for safety. With Entangle, get 4 matches. like that to get the fairy fire effects, get your team charged up, and just bosh everyone out of there. Should we take that? Why not? Because we feel like it. You take fairy fire gems, you can cast the weapon to pick up those fairy fire gems, and make your spells more effective from Titania and Forenza. But yeah, there it is. There's the video. If you enjoyed it, found it useful and helpful, it would be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button, and feel free to share it too. That absolutely really helps the channel. But thanks for watching, and bye for now.